Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Hello to you and how are we doing today? Welcome back to my channel. My name is mhara.starling. I'm a Suinwraig, a Welsh folk witch. Here on my channel we discuss all things Welsh Celtic paganism, as well as Welsh folk magic, magical traditions, just all things Welsh, really. Today we're going to be talking about pronunciation. Now, as well as being a Welsh witch, I'm also a first language Welsh speaker. I come from Ynys Môn, originally. I come from the Isle of Anglesey, from a little place called Aberfraw. I grew up in a Welsh-speaking community, and I love teaching people about the correct pronunciations of the names of things such as Welsh gods, or the magical terminology of Wales. I just love our language, and I think it's important to share our language with the world. Now, before we get started, might I just say, the correct pronunciation when working with deities is not always exceptionally vital. The gods know when you are calling to them. The gods know what you mean. You do not need to have the exact, precise pronunciation. I do this video not as an elitist thing to try and keep people away from practicing Welsh witchcraft or magic or paganism if they cannot speak Welsh, but rather as an insight into how to pronounce these names, just in case anybody's actually interested in learning these pronunciations. Language is an intrinsic part of what it means to be Welsh. Our language is what connects us, what bridges us together. Our language is also inherently magical, and I will be making a video very soon discussing the magical history of the language. And this is why I think this video is important. And I'm going to be making a few videos of this style, teaching you various pronunciations. This video will also coincide with my new book, coming out in February 2022, Welsh Witchcraft, a guide to the spirits, lore and magic of Wales. Available for pre-order now on Amazon as well as other booksellers online. Today I'm going to go through a list of some of the most popular Welsh deities, Welsh gods and goddesses, and magical allies that you can call upon in your magical practice. These entities stem from Welsh myth, legend and lore. Now, I've already made a video discussing whether the Welsh gods are actually gods. It's a very intriguing topic and I think you should go watch that video. But for today, we're going to be talking about pronunciation only. Another little disclaimer, I'm from North Wales. I'm a Gog through and through. So the way that I pronounce these names might be very different to how someone from other parts of Wales might pronounce these names. I think people forget sometimes that accents and dialects exist. But anyway, enough of the disclaimer. Let's get started, shall we? Let's start not with the name of a god, but instead the name of a body of myth and legend where many of these gods and goddesses stem from, and that is the Mapinoki, Mapinoki. Mapinoki. A Mapinoki. You might know it as the Mabinogion. However, a lot of people do believe that the Mabinogion is actually a mistranslation, and instead Mabinogi is more authentic to how the word should be portrayed. A Mapinoki is a beautiful medieval text that outlines a lot of ancient Welsh literature that might have very ancient roots. One of the first characters we come across in the Mabinogi is Pwyll. Pwyll, the Prince of Dyfed, and he descends into the otherworld, where he meets Arawn. So those are two characters that we see in one of the first stories in the Mabinogi. Pwyll, the Prince of Dyfed, Pwyll Pendefig Dyfed, and Arawn. Arawn comes from the otherworld, which is known in Wales as Annwn or Anofn. I prefer to say Anofn, personally. The word for Anofn stems from the same word etymologically as the deep, which is an insight into where the Welsh otherworld is. Would you like a little video on the Welsh otherworld? I think we'll do that. Next up we have Rhiannon. 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 Rhiannon is a goddess of sovereignty and also of horses. She's cognate with Epona. Rhiannon, not Rhiannon. We then have Bran. Bran. Not Bran. Bran. Or, as he's sometimes referred to as, Bendigeidfran. 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 And his marvellous sister, Branwen. 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 And let's not forget their father, Hyr. Notice a little issue? That letter, the double L, is actually one singular letter in the Welsh language, and it's pronounced, it's almost like a little hiss. Now, this letter is actually pronounced differently in other parts of Wales, apparently. When I did a video about it on my TikTok, a lot of people told me that I was doing it wrong. That the double L should be less of a throaty noise and more of a noise in the front of the mouth. But I'm a native Welsh speaker, and this is how I've always said it. So I'm going to stick to this, because this is how everybody in my community growing up said it as well. Here. Here. We then have another child of Hir. Hir, of course, being the mighty sea god. We have Manawydan. Manawydan. And we also have Pryderi. Pryderi. A very popular one is Blodeuedd. Blodeuedd. The maiden that was created from flowers. Blodeuedd. When she's transformed into an owl, her name then changes from being Blodeuedd to Blodeuedd, from flowers to flower face. And flower face, Blodeuedd, was an old term for the owl in Welsh. We then have Gwydion. 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 Gwydion is a magician. And let's not forget Arianrhod, or, as I prefer to refer to her as, Aranrhod. Now, Aranrhod, her name is spelt rather differently in the manuscripts almost every time, but the most common is Aranrhod, which, into modern Welsh from Middle Welsh, would be translated to Aranrhod. Now, a lot of people translate Arianrhod's name as meaning silver wheel, but that's up for debate. Arianrhod, so we've got Arianrhod and Aranrhod. We then have another magician, a magician king, Math. Math, very easy, just like mathematics. Math. Math, ap, mathonwy. You'll see this word come up a lot, ap. Ap. Ap just means son of. It was a characteristic of medieval Welsh society. If you were a son of someone, you were ap, whereas women would be ferch. So the men would be something ap something, whereas the women would be something ferch something. So we've got Branwen, ferch Hir. Branwen, the daughter of Hir. So that's ferch. Then we have Lleu, Lleu llaw gyffes. And then we've got Taliesin. Taliesin, of course, the bard and prophet himself. And she who gave birth to him, Ceridwen, the goddess of inspiration, a witch, a magical practitioner. Ceridwen. Ceridwen. From the same story of Ceridwen and Taliesin, we have Creirfiw, Creirfiw, as well as Avagddu, Avagddu, two of Ceridwen's children. And of course, we've got Ceridwen's husband, Tegid Foel. Tegid Foel, who Llyn Tegid, the lake in Bala, where Ceridwen's story happens, is named after. We then have one of Aranrhod's sons, Dylan. Just like Lleu, Dylan came from Aranrhod. Dylan Ail Don. We then have the dark and light, the shadow and light aspects of ourselves. Efnisien, Efnisien, the shadow self, and Nisien, the light side of ourselves. Nisien. A very popular one, especially online at the moment, is Gwyn ap Nudd. Gwyn ap Nudd. God of liminality, king of fairy, king of Anovan, the other world. Gwyn, Gwyn, ap. There's that word again, ap, meaning the son of, Nudd. Nudd. Now when you see a double D in Welsh, it makes the noise th, th, similar to there in English. Never like thick, but like there in English. A deity I work with, and I don't think very many do work with because she's very Anglesey specific, is Braint. 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 Cognate with the Irish Bridget, she's the goddess of spring and healing. We also have Modron, Modron, the mother goddess, and the divine child, Mapon, Mapon. I will be doing a video about the origins of the Wheel of the Year festival, Mapon, and why I don't like to call it Mapon. But yes, it is pronounced Mapon, not Mabon. Mapon. The word mab in Welsh means sun. So you'll see it a lot in names such as Mapon, the divine child, the divine son, but also in the name of the Mapinoki, Mab, tales of sun. A few other Welsh figures that might be of importance to you in your practice are Merddin, Merlin of course, Merddin, y Brenin Arthur, King Arthur, y Brenin Arthur, Arthur. And then a few more are Beli Mawr, Beli Mawr, Beli Mawr, and Dawn, Dawn. Now, have I missed anyone? I probably have. But for now, that concludes our pronunciation guide to some of the most popular Welsh deities and mythical figures that might act as magical allies within your practice. I hope this was helpful and beneficial to you. Let me know in the comments below whether you'd like more videos that dive into the depth of lore surrounding deities in Wales. Don't forget to click that subscribe button, and don't forget to check out the links in my description of this video. I've got a Patreon, I've got a TikTok account, I've got an Instagram page, I've got a lot of things. And thank you ever so much for watching this video. And a huge thank you to all of my patrons for constantly supporting me. Bendithion swynol arnoch I gyd. Magical blessings upon you all. Bye now.